sheet turned in on the Tuesday before the board meeting.
The Tuesday before which board meeting?
Before the actual board meeting, not the committee meeting, but the board meeting.
In which month?
Each month, well, for September, October, and November. Because what I would like to see is the committee members at least ride the bus once a week. If you want to do it,
I'm not gonna be able to do that. I can't do that once a week.
Okay.
Some of us work jobs.
Right.
Like Director Tabitha, the only day that I could give to this would be a Friday. And the other thing too is that when you said the Tuesday before the board meetings are held on Tuesday. Before the board meeting, or exactly the time frame. And I'm thinking that
I got some noise in the background.
Do it every week.
Yeah.
Do it. And we can't. We'll just do what we can. Is that okay?
Well, that would be great. Like I said, I would like to see us ride once a week, but whatever you can do to help the committee would be fine.
Okay.
Because again, we're just looking to see what kind of product that we're actually putting out there. And that's what this is about. It's only going to last until December. And then after December, it'll be over. And so I'm just asking for some participation. And again, riding the bus or the ferry and just evaluating what you've seen.
So, well, can I ask a question about the grading sheet with number 7, the convenience of bus stops? Now, the bus stops have already been established. So, when you say convenience of bus stops, exactly what are we saying?
Dr. Robinson, this is Faye DeMassimo. Let me address that, I think, a little bit. So, we do get comments from our riders about where they see bus stops, where the convenience factors of it, the accessibility, issues with related to a current and existing bus stop, and also places where they see the need for bus stops. We get those comments from folks in the community. You may also have those same kinds of observations where you see a stop and you go, that stop would be so much more convenient if it had this or that, if the access to it is not as robust or as easy as it needs to be. Or you may have a place where you think to yourself, I bet that there's been some growth and development that's occurred in some particular area that maybe if we relooked at that, as we're doing right now with the comprehensive operations analysis, as well as our master transit plan, but that COA in particular, that there may be opportunities there to think about how we reshape some of that, the existing stops and locations. So I think that particular one is intended that if you have input related to either existing or things where you might see a need where there's not one now, that you perceive or hear about or whatever, either as a rider or in conversations you may have with your contacts and members of the community, you can reflect that on this form so that we can incorporate that into the work that we're doing as well. But that's an excellent question. Thank you.
Any other questions pertaining to that response? Okay, if you look on your agenda, myself, Chairman Cody, the CEO, and Ms. Beverly, we're here to assist in whatever you need in order to make this successful. So, if there's an issue with anything, please let me know. You have my phone number. If you don't, it's 912-713-4000. And you can call me at any time. If I don't answer, I'll call you back as soon as I get out of my meeting. I have meetings throughout the week, but I don't want you to think we're just putting you out there and you turn in a sheet of paper. If there's anything that you may need, you please let us know. Speaking on that, I spoke to Ms. Beverly, and they're going to work on getting us some bus passes. So that way you don't have to use your ID, because we don't want anyone to know that they're being evaluated. So with those bus passes, you'll be able to, ride whenever you get ready in order to evaluate everything that needs to be evaluated.
So what about the guests?
What about the what now? The guests?
Yeah, one of the questions is you also want our guests to talk about their experience. So that I'm assuming that we're supposed to bring somebody along with us.
Correct. Well, go ahead.
I believe that's an option though, right? If you want to bring a guest.
That's I realize my question is, will the guests also be given a bus pass, or will the guests be expected, or will they pay for the guests?
Chairman, if I may, yes, Dr.
Yes.
Robinson, we will compliment the guests as well with the pass.
Okay. I guess. I don't know. I just think that I'd like to hear from the other committee members who are on about other concerns or constraints or challenges they anticipate in doing this. So Ms. Tappan and I have already expressed, our limitations. And if, I don't know, when you talk about data points, I don't know how many rides you want to see, how many buses you want to see us cover, or is there a specific concern about a particular route that the staff has heard more about, or just overall, how do we quantify what we do? I guess I'm just not sure.
Well, once you turn in your sheets and I see which routes have been already written on, we don't want to take the same route. We don't want to keep riding on the same route. What we want to do is be able to, hopefully by December, to ride as many routes as possible. So we don't want to take the same routes. And what I'll do, as you turn in your sheets and I know which bus number you are on, I will create a report, and it'll let you know which buses are already been used or have already been evaluated. And that way you won't get on the same bus, because we want to try and get the customer experience from different routes, not just the same routes. And so
I'm a customer, so I would love to kind of like chime in right about now, because it's
join the meeting.
I'm Ron Patterson, by the way, and I've lived in Savannah, Georgia for a while, and I've traveled extensively across the United States and have used numerous of bus services across the country. And I can tell you that the very good thing that happened in Savannah was the Greyhound bus station that ties you to the CAT service. On the East Coast, you can get on the Greyhound bus and it will drop you off in Washington, D.C. And you're able to get to their metropolitan bus service and move from D.C. to Philadelphia if you want to, by the time you get on the Acela or the Amtrak or anything. So that's a very good thing. But the number one thing that's happening in Savannah is that the buses are starting so late in the morning. So you can't get to work. Where I live, I can't get to work by 7 o'clock if the job is in Fort Worth. Because the bus, the 31 that comes down the street, it doesn't connect you to downtown, no way close to it. And the only bus that'll get you out there is almost an hour ride. You can't go out and get a job because the employers want you there by at least 7. The buses are starting at 7. So the overall like conditions of the bus, it's perfect. But the thing is, the ridership is so minimal because you don't have the bus service catering to the people that need it, and the people that need it is the people that need to get to work. So you're catering to more or less, and I've seen this bus service for many years, and it hasn't changed. And the more growth is happening, not in the city of Savannah, and it's not on the south side. Most of the growth now is going out there towards Pooler or something like that. Now, my suggestion would have been to this whole process, would have been to say, don't ride buses all the way out from downtown. Create a hub out there where the bus connects from downtown to this hub, and then let the hub service everything on the outside there. So then what you'll have is that you'll basically say, if you can get to that hub by 6, you can service that area, that specific area, and everyone can actually get to work with whatever it is. So if you go out 17, I know there's a Walmart out there somewhere. I know there's a bus that goes way out there. You might as well just get a Greyhound bus ticket, because that is a long ride. So a lot of this stuff that, I mean, I'm pretty sure you want to make sure that people have Wi-Fi and stuff like that. But the number one thing that we're trying to do is get to work. And, it's really been a hindrance.
And
This is,
I'm sorry, sir, can you tell me your name again?
Ronald Patterson.
Now, I want to say to the committee, it's individuals like this gentleman that we need to hear from. Me riding the bus is not going to necessarily get me that kind of information. And one thing he said was that as far as the maintenance of the buses are clean. And I also look at Mr. Duma's report that we get at every board meeting about the high performers, and those kind of things. So if there are issues on a particular route, and you want us as board members to be able to see and hear that, that's one thing. But to ride a bus 12 times, again, my question is, what kind of quantitative data are we trying to collect that will help staff do the kind of thing that this gentleman is talking about? Because what he's talking about, we already recognize that is an issue, is that we have industries being built in Pooler and we don't provide transportation. And it is an issue that we're working on with the officials of Pooler to get them to, you see, so the thing that we're working on, sir, that, that kind of will address, those kind of things. But again, my question is more about this committee doing what? And quantitatively, what do we hope to achieve that will address, important issues that the public is concerned about? Are there specific routes that are in question? I guess I'd like to see us more focused on issues that, because I heard CEO said that they get calls about certain routes that have certain issues. If that's what we want to do, that's one thing. But for this committee, what is it that we hope to achieve that will assist staff? Because we don't hear these problems, we don't. But if we're assisting staff, then what is it we need to be doing to bring back to staff the things that they need to help them minimize or answer questions from consumers?
Dr. Robinson, this is Faye DeMassimo, and Mr. Taylor, and then also our guest who just so eloquently addressed some of the needs around how we get people to and from work. I think Dr. Robinson covered this in some ways, but I want to expand upon it a bit. To our visitor who's here expressing some of those concerns, the place where service expansion and service needs beyond, especially in areas like you may be aware that we're working with Garden City and Port Wentworth right now on service expansions. As Director Robinson has said, we are in process right now on a master transit plan that includes looking at what's called commuter express service, and that is getting people a service that's really dedicated to getting people to and from jobs in a very efficient, effective way. And so surrounding jurisdictions that are further out like Pooler, but in other surrounding jurisdictions will all have opportunity to participate in that process. But that master transit plan is really where the kinds of service needs that you're describing, sir, are going to be understood, appropriate solutions proposed, and then that carried forward with the support and so forth of the CAT board. I think if I understood it, and our chairman, his intention with this effort was for us to just take a measure of sort of customer experience and how well we see that being met, give you a chance to talk to folks that are riding on our current routes and so forth. The other thing that's really core to all this, and this is an experience that is shared right now by every transit system in the country, and frankly by many other industries in our jurisdiction and all around us, is the operator shortage. In order for us, and I know the board is aware in several communications recently, one of the things I've stressed is that our first and highest priority has got to be that operator piece, because in order to address the service piece, we've got to address the operator piece first. And we are dealing with a different labor market. Everyone has seen shifts in the labor market post-COVID. And in the kinds of work experiences that people are looking for in their careers. Some people have made completely, obviously, wholesale changes in those kinds of things. So I say all that to make you aware, both as board members, others who have joined us, the public, and the gentleman who just brought up those particular concerns, that there are some other initiatives underway to solve the issues that we have, but they've got to be solved in a very systematic way. We are working right now in a customized recruitment strategy with the State Department of Labor as a new tool that we're using to look at the operator piece. We're also going to be reaching out and working with the technical colleges and others, high schools, around those kinds of entry points into careers as operators and others, mechanics and so forth, that we can be a community partner in developing both those skills within our community, but also in careers that those skills can also fit with us. So there's a lot of exciting things going on and a lot of very positive things going on around all of this. But they also are, going to take a little bit of time here. But I do want there to be both board and community confidence around the fact of the awareness of the things that are being described here, and of the very strong intentional initiatives and efforts that are going to solve those issues and really enhance the CAT service to meet community expectations. So I hope that that's helpful in terms of setting a little bit more of the framework around the conversation today.
Well, in the meantime, is there any way to take, like, say, I can only speak for the 31 right now. Early in the morning, if you look at like a service industry, you're not going to really have anybody ride a bus that's going to work at fast food, except it's seriously early in the morning. I mean, anything that serves breakfast. But if there are like express buses where at a particular time you cut out so many stops, and it only goes from A to B. It starts at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, but it doesn't make every stop. It's only going to make from 5 o'clock in the morning till 7 o'clock in the morning. It's only going to go from A to B, and it's only going to make 3 or 4 stops. That's it. And if you can't make it to that general area, you're just going to be out. But you have to look at it where it's densely populated in certain areas where you can get the people from that point. Everybody doesn't have to really have the convenience early in the morning. They just have to have the ability to get on the bus. So with that doesn't take like a master plan to say, don't go this way early in the morning, just go to A and B, and so we can get people back and forth. This thing with this gas price, I mean, you got to think about it. You're like, the ridership could have increased tremendously I mean, if you're gonna got people back and forth to work, I'm pretty sure the room would have probably been filled. But right now, I mean, because you're looking at just one guy who's just telling you, hey, look, we just can't get back and forth. And then the thing about it is that this thing's supposed to serve the public. And you're asking people who are $15 an hour to have to be able to afford a car because public transportation is a lot cheaper than putting gas in your car and paying a car note and then trying to do all of this stuff when this service is actually there that can benefit a whole lot of people. So, I mean, I'm just saying that there's got to be something that can be done that doesn't take all of the planning and all of this concern, and you can actually use the people that you have and just make it more effective and efficient.
I tell you what, sir, I see that you are actually, I know you're in the room where we're broadcasting from. I am more than happy. I'm here as well. I'm just not in the same room that you're in. I would love to sit down and talk with you after this and go through both what we're doing and how we have to do it as a federally funded system, the process and so forth that we have to go through to make any kinds of service changes, but also the analysis that's being done to make sure that we accomplish exactly what you're asking for, but do it in the most efficient, effective, customer experience oriented way. So I look forward following this meeting to sitting down with you for a few moments and talking through that a little bit more. Thank you so much for bringing all those very valuable perspectives to the meeting this morning.
Thank you.
Turning
I would
it back
also
over-
like, yes, Director Taylor, I just want to chime in for a second. When we are talking about this customer experience in which we are focusing on now, what this is to a lot of the emails that I get, and as a board member, we all get emails with certain situations at bus stops, certain situations on the bus ride. And what we're trying to do now is to experience this ourselves, basically. We want to see what our riders see. We want to feel what our riders feel. And I think that's the reason that we're going through with this process, to increase upon our knowledge of how transit is being ran, so we can make our improvements as we go along. We want to develop policy to guide addressing, identifying needs and concerns, and support to promote a safe and attractive and convenient service for everybody. So with this being in place, as me and Director Taylor and our CEO was speaking on, this is our initiative, and it's just to bring the board members so we'll be all on the same page. I know I'll probably be riding, I'll be riding the bus more than most. And what I plan to do is to share my experience with other board members, so we can all be on the same page when we start getting these emails and situation where we can improve upon some things. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Cody. Thank you, Mr. Massimo.
Director Robinson.
So I guess my question is, so do we, because I don't get, you're the chairman, so I don't get those kind of emails about, things going on the bus. So I guess that's why I'm a little bit not concerned about what it is that we hope to accomplish by doing this. So do we want to target those areas where you're getting the emails and the complaints, or because if there are no complaints, like the closest route to me would be 31. Okay, and I see 31 a lot. And even when I'm traveling, I may be behind 31, just looking at what stop they're picking up from, how it's being done, and those kind of things. So are we talking about specific routes that there are issues on, or what? What is it?
I think we're just talking about overall anything, anything. That's why we got the list that's is documenting the different avenues, like anything from a bus stop that may need the grass cut. You may need the trash emptied at a trash can we have, and any little thing that we can improve upon. You know, we already know that we got some locations where shelters going, but I know I've seen, you know, in my evaluation, I've seen some places that we need some shelters, where I see people standing out in the weather. And it's little things like that that I think that can improve upon our ridership, and it can improve upon our customer experience. Just a general idea of knowing what's going on, you know. So when we are confronted with these things, we will know, we will have an idea of what our customers are experiencing.
Any other questions? Also, I'll be handling the paratransit side, being that I use them a lot. I use different drivers and different routes wherever I go. So because on the fixed route side, you know, wherever you get picked up from, you can get dropped off from or across the street. Paratransit is a little different. So I'll be handling the paratransit side, and then we'll go from there. The next area is customer experience survey questions. If you have any questions about what was discussed today, or any questions about what we'll be doing, you can send those. You can email me those questions by 9/25/2022, and then in our next meeting, we can address those questions. Or if it's something that need to be addressed, then I can address it then for you. Moving on, there is no old business because this is the first meeting. Are there any questions or any new business that anyone has to bring to the table? Okay, so the next meeting will be in October on the 19th at 10 o'clock. It'll be a Zoom meeting again. And hopefully by then we'll have a little more clarity as far as, you know, what's doable by the committee and what's not. But just give it a chance. I just ask you to just give it a chance and let it work its way out. Because as Chairman Cody and the CEO said, it's a little different hearing the problem. But if we experience the problem, I think it'll be a lot better. So if we don't have any more questions, I'd like somebody to make a motion to close this meeting.
Make a motion.
You can adjourn.
It's been properly moved from a motion to close to a second. Thank y'all very much for your time and your consideration. Again, give me a call if there's anything you may need, 912-713-4000. Thank you, be safe, and have a great day.
Thank you.